All right, so first thing is, so a lot of you guys went to that Quantum Leap, which was awesome. One of the things I just want to share is there's an app that I really love since Mega Camp's coming up. It's called Otter. If you haven't heard of it, download it. What it does is it records and transcribes what the person's saying. So you can go back, you can download it, you can send it in an email, you can put it into a Word document. It's a super great tool because it allows you to be more engaged listening. And it literally, once someone's talking, it's writing the notes as they speak. You get to go back, listen to it, and redo the notes. So just a little nugget on that.
Jake, would you mind write that on the jar please?
Or if you had the app, it would do it.
That's it. It would write it. Yeah, it would. It's a trip too because you're watching it and it's just writing every single thing down. So it's called Otter.
Oh, like the
Yep. And the actual app, real quick, I'll take 2 seconds.
You can draw a picture of the
That's it. So it looks kind of like that. So couple lines. Cool. So yeah, good little app. Also wanted to do a shameless plug. So my sister was really big on helping raise money for Lymphoma Leukemia Society. She's having a golf tournament October 5th. She just got leukemia herself 2 days ago. We just admitted her into the hospital. So anyone who wants to play or is a golfer, I'll send that out to you guys, the flyer on it. And if you share it, we're just trying to fill up the golf tournament. My mom wanted to cancel it. She's like, no, we're not going to cancel it. So the team, our Keller Williams family in Folsom, they basically came together. We're going to go hard on supporting that. So it's October 5th. It's at Timber Creek or Wood Creek in Timber Creek? Is that where it's at? Yeah, so it's a great event. You played last year, didn't you? Did you? Okay. Great event. So if you can, definitely sign up for that. Okay?
Is there any other way can we just donate?
Yeah, absolutely. There's actually, if you don't golf, there's actually a dinner option because it's a full-on barbecue. The food was so good last year. And then they have tons of prizes. We had about over 100 people last year. We're trying to fill it to 142 this year. So if you want to do dinner, you can donate. However that is, just let me know. I'll send out the information on that.
I'm not good at golf, but I'm really good at dinner.
I'm the same way. Yeah, this is body by dinner. I mean, come on. So, all right. So I like to get a little bit of a gauge here. One under a year? Raise your hands. Been in the business under a year. Anyone? Okay. Under 3 years. Okay. 5? All right. Who's got the most?
15.
15? Okay. That was a non-raised hand question. I just kept my hand up. Okay, 15. Cool. All right, so a little bit about me. I started in the business 17 years ago. I actually started in mortgage. So I started in a private mortgage company, got out of college, started working for Airmark Uniform Services. I wanted to go into sales because my thing was that sales was where you can make money, right? Went into that. Didn't really love it. Wasn't making the money that I spent 7 years in college going for, right? I got a cup from my buddy's best college, the best 7 years of my life. So I took advantage of that. And so I got into mortgage and I started a private company, worked my way up. Actually, 2008, opened up my own brokerage. We did our first transaction the month before, New Century Mortgage. They got their books audited, and then the market just completely tumbled. So I had to bring on real estate and brought that into our business. We kind of shifted gears really quickly. We were running huge overheads, and we opened up our own little office. Been in real estate, joined Keller Williams in 2012, so we did that for about 5 years, and then we ended up, I fell in love with real estate, sold my company to my business partner, and because I wanted to do it at a higher level. And so I've been with Keller since 2012. I joined up with Ben a little over 2 years ago, coming up on 3. And since coming into real estate, my first year was 29 transactions. And I'll close 30 this year and leading the team. And then the year before I did 42. So, really focused on what we can do to hit those levels of production. And all those years, Majority of them. Maybe one of them I had a decent assistant, but majorities were just running, right? So what is it that we're going to talk about today? So first thing, like Eric talked about, huge thing, right? We got mindset. What's that mindset that we come in with, right? What are the 5 habits of the most successful agents? We're going to talk about where to find leads. So I'm going to ask you guys, we're going to do a kind of a questions and kind of a brainstorming. How do we have leverage? What are the ways we can create leverage in our world? The business planning and the wow experience of our clients, okay? So you guys have mindset. When I kind of told you a little bit about the team. Like I shared, when I joined Ben, I actually helped out 39 families the year before, and my mindset for it was I wanted to have an opportunity to grow something big. I knew I wanted to grow something big, right? I wanted to share what I had with other people and show them how to accomplish big things and how to hit their dreams. So that was my passion when I joined the team. My mindset now, it's definitely a lot different. I've learned a ton from growing a team, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff. One of the biggest things that I think I've learned from Ben, and for anybody, does anybody have a team, looking at a team, growing a team, doing that thing? Okay. So he kind of basically said is if you want to make $1 million, help 10 people make 100,000. Right? Share with someone how to get them to accomplish their dreams. And that's really what I've changed my mindset of focus on is how do I help someone else get to what they want to do? Maybe it's not 100,000, maybe it's 70 grand, but what's that mean to them? How do I help them get to where they want to do? So that's probably my biggest mindset change now has been helping others get to where they want to get to. So you guys all have this form here, and you guys can fill this out. So going back to what Eric said, mindset's probably the number one, hands down, thing in our industry. Would anybody say we have challenges in our industry? Yeah? Yeah? Rough transactions. Who has always awesome clients? Always awesome. All right. No challenges there, right? So I think the biggest thing that we go and we're doing is what we can control. We use this control triangles. What you'll see in our organization is a lot of circles, triangles, and the biggest one here is we're going to start with think. Okay, so that's going to be your bottom thing. So how do we think? And when we talk about that, what I'm talking about is what we're putting in our brains. So about 2 years ago, I actually stopped listening to radio. I'm not saying that you have to, okay? But I stopped listening to radio. I stopped watching the news. Every time I travel, it's an awesome opportunity to listen to an audible, listen to a podcast, listen to something that's going to put good information in your brain that you're going to learn something from. And a lot of times I'll listen to books over and over again and put a gap in there just because of the simple fact I'm in a different place in my life when I hear this book again. There's always room to reread books and learn from them over again. Also, news. The news is the worst thing in the world for me, in my opinion. It's the worst thing to watch. All it is negative things. So what are we putting in our mind? Because when we start the day off, so I actually bought a little device. It's actually a shower speaker. So it's waterproof, and I put it in the shower. Because one of the things I'm really super big on is growth, right? How do I grow? Because I've got to be growing to constantly add value to other people, hands on, right? Whether it's your kids, right? Whether it's your family, whether it's your brother, your sister, how do we get better and grow every day so we can add value to others? And so what I do is I take advantage of the shower. I throw on an Audible book, slap that suction cup on the wall and listen to that. Then I'm also journaling. Actually, a really great thing I just started. I've been one of those guys that journals. No, I don't journal, right? I actually started and I pulled out the 66-day challenge. You guys ever seen that? The one thing, right? And I'm on day 11 of the 66-day challenge. And journaling's been a huge, huge benefit to me. Being able to reflect in the day. One of the things I do, the outline I do on my journal is on the left side of the journal. I write down my goals for the team, the goals for myself, the goals for my family, and I write the same ones down with a date. right, with an end date. So what it does for me is it becomes crystal clear because I'm writing it down every night. I can recite back my goals for the next 5 years with you guys, and it's basically becoming ingrained in our minds. And what happens when it's ingrained in our mind, we're going to act differently, we're going to think differently, and we're going to do things a lot differently. So I put on the left side, writing out my goals. On the right side, I just put reflection, right? Lessons learned, and where I added value. So that's my journal thing. I don't know how I came up with it. I took some from John Maxwell, right? We talk about R&Ding all the time, so rip off and duplicate. I took some things like from John Maxwell, from this guy over here, and so it works well, and I've had a ton of clarity. It's been creating a lot of clarity for me lately. So the thing, right, is how do we think? What are we putting in our minds? Who are we listening to? Then the next thing is how we spend our time, right? So, would you guys say your time is valuable?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? Would you say whenever you say yes to someone, you got to say no to someone else, right? So, what are we saying yes to? The biggest thing, and I think it was Steve Jobs who said it. When he came back, he left Apple a while back ago, and he came back and they had this huge product line, right? Tons of products. And basically what he did is he chopped it down to about, I believe it was a dozen or so, because he had to say no to all these other products to get his world back in order and to get his Apple image back into action. What we say, our time is finite. That's one of the biggest things. Our time is finite. So who are we saying yes to, right? You're going to have to. One of the biggest things is saying no. It's been a challenge for me. I don't know if anybody else, but I like to be a people pleaser. Yeah, everyone likes people to like them. Yeah, would you agree? So who's that? What's that no and what's that yes look like? Just remember this: our time's finite, and whenever we say yes to someone, we're going to say no to a lot of other things. Saying no is a huge thing, and it's something that I've had to really, really work on.
And it's important to say to yourself that saying no is not a bad thing.
You are so right. 100%. Right? Saying no is not a bad thing. It's determining your life.
I recall the day, and I still remember the day that happened. I used to be a teacher before, and I was very involved in our teacher union and all that stuff, and I was saying yes to all these things. I had 2 young babies. Mm-hmm. And there was that clarity of make a choice. Where do you have the greatest input? Where will your gifts be appreciated? And at that point, I found the strength to say, I'd love to help you and meet with you at that time, but I already have another appointment booked. Didn't have to say it was with my family or with my husband, but I already had another appointment. Mm-hmm. And the liberation from that realization was just amazing. Mm-hmm.
So true. Because everyone else, when they come to you to ask you something or want to sit with you or something, they're the most important in their heads, right? Mm-hmm. And what I always ask myself is when I do say no to people, is this someone that I can help, or that can help the business, or is it going to help my business push forward, or is it going to help strengthen my relationships, right? So one thing, for instance, my mom, every other Wednesday, I have a calendar date night with her. You won't get me at 6 o'clock because I'm going to tell you no, because I'm going to make sure that she's important to me, and I'm going to meet with her and take her out to dinner and have some conversation with her. So there's certain things in my calendar that, people are going to ask me to meet during these times. We just got to say no. Who does lead generation in here? Yeah? Right on. Are you saying no to the other things, right? That's super important too. That's the thing that's going to push your business forward, and time blocking those things. Okay? Who? That's probably one of the biggest things. One of the big things here. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Has anybody ever heard that saying, the 5 people that you surround yourself with is what you're going to end up being in the future, right? Making sure that you're surrounding yourself with solid people. You've got an amazing group here, right? Would you agree? Everyone?
Yes.
You have to say yes because Mark's in the room and everyone, leadership's in the room. So it's kind of a loaded question. But making sure that you're surrounding yourself with awesome people. right? When I joined Ben's company, you know, I was a terrible leader. Let me rephrase that. I hadn't mastered that yet, or I still haven't mastered it. My leadership was way down. A lot of my skills, a lot of the way I talked to people, a lot of the way I interacted with people, a lot of the way I led people was really hands down, do it, you know. But putting myself around such amazing leaders with other expansion partners, other people in that organization, it lifts you up, right? Lifts your lid. So make sure that the people that you are hanging around, especially in your personal life, one, they believe in you, okay? So you're hanging around people that don't believe in you, kick it to the curb. I no longer have a certain best friend that I once had, that I grew up with. He doesn't believe in me, and I'm not going to allow that to be a part of my life because it just doesn't work for me, right? So personal life as well as your workplace. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with awesome people. Any questions so far on that? No? All right. Then the final thing here is, what do you do with your money? Because if we're not clear on our why, and we're not clear how we're going to use what we're earning, we're not going to want to go back down here and work on the rest of the pyramid, right? Once we have crystal clarity here, what happens is we redo this every single day, all the time, and we're making sure that we're really thinking about what we're thinking, what we're putting in our mind, how we're spending our time, who we're surrounding ourselves with. Because once you expand this and move up the triangle, and you really expand the triangle, your life expands. You're gonna have a much better life. You're gonna have better results in your personal life as well as your work life. So you see it, a little repeat there, right? So repeat the triangle. Any questions or thoughts on this?
Which one would you say you focus on the most, like that you've been struggling with, that you've kind of been really hammering on?
I think the bottom two is where I really focus on the most. What I'm putting in my brain. I make it a daily thing. I've actually read at least 10 to 20 minutes. I have a think chair. And so I journal in that, and I also do my reading in that, and it just allows me to just shift. I know that that's all I do in that chair. That's it. I literally have it's a nice and comfy one too, by the way. I'm going to get a new one. It's even more comfy. I got to be careful. I don't want to sleep. But I sit and I read, right? And I journal. That's all I do in that chair. I don't let anyone else sit in it. That's it. So that, and then the timepiece. I mean, you know, we have, as I bring new partners into our business, a lot of people are pulling it different ways, right? Pulling us in different directions. And one of the things is if I'm not careful, I allow that to happen. And I'm not respecting my time. And then also I'm not setting a good example for the people coming into our world, right? So those are probably the two areas that I struggle the most. Where do you guys struggle? Time? That's a lot. That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. What's your biggest struggle with that?
Never enough.
Time blocking for me. I'm just
Staying within that.
and committing
Using
to
it wisely.
committing to it and just staying in it.
Yeah.
Unexpected distractions.
Mine is feeling like I have to schedule my time to look similar to someone else's time,
Mhm.
and then trying to work that into my life, and sometimes that's not realistic.
Tell me more.
So, for example, being in the office by the 8 a.m.
Mhm.
and you hear, oh, the only way to be $1 million agent is to look like X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, I had to take some time and think, that's not everybody's lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my mentors told me, all you need is 90 minutes a day
Mhm.
to really focus and hit it hard.
Mhm.
And whatever that looks like for you is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was freeing to realize, okay, it doesn't have to look like anything. It just has to look like what I need to have success here.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a hard thing in the beginning too.
Yeah, I think we model, right? Keller Williams is super big on modeling, and that's really big in our Ben Kinney company. So one of the things, the reason, and just kind of the why behind morning lead generation is, one is, yeah, it's when you have your most energy, right? It's when you're at your best. And then two is you get it out of the way, right?
Right.
You get it out of the way. what do they say? How to eat an elephant, right? You eat one bite at a time kind of thing. So you take that first, the thing that you don't like, to eat the frog in the morning, right? So that's kind of where we run it and why we do it that way. Like our team comes in, we're here at 8:30. We do scripts and practice. We go into lead generation from 9 to noon, right? However, you've got to do what works for you, right? As long as you make sure that you put that time in there to where it's going to push either your business or your personal life or your relationships forward,
Right.
you got to block that in and respect that. So that's good. Aha. And if it works for you and it helps, it rocks it all day long.
Yeah. Well, part of my non-negotiables is I like to drop my kids off at school and pick them up.
That's important. That's
So-
pushing your relationships further, right?
Right. So that happening at 8:30 was, but I had to accept that. I had to be like, okay, one's not going to work. Which one would you feel more guilty about if you weren't making it happen? I could always pay someone to take my kids, but the guilt of not doing that would supersede the guilt of not making a call at 9 a.m.
Well, I think you.
Back to the glass ball.
Yeah, that's right.
Your family is a glass ball.
Right.
Work is a rubber ball.
Yeah. My mom worked hardcore and I never saw her. So for me, it's a non-negotiable.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So it's just you're doing the right thing. That's good. Good for you. All right. All right. So let's go into the 5 habits of the most successful agents. Number 1, they go to work to prosper. So, I've ran into a lot of people and worked with a lot of agents over the years, and they go to work to prosper. So what's that mean? What happens is I've talked to a lot of agents where, we're going in, I'm going to make contacts, right? Or I'm going to make my calls, or I'm going to do my opens, whatever. The most successful agents, they take it a step further. I'm going to make appointments, right? I'm going in there to make things happen. I've had agents on the team where we have a certain level of, I'll give you an example, we have a certain level of a standard to receive internet leads. Okay, right? There's a certain standard. And we put it into place just to have the standard. That doesn't mean that that's the goal for the week. It's a standard to receive the team benefits, right? So I have agents that'll just go and hit the standard. And I share with them, I say, you know what? I say that here's the thing, is we come to work to prosper. If those standards aren't helping you prosper, then you got to change your standards. We go into the office, and when we change our mindset, again, going back to mindset, one of my top agents, Mark, he changed his mindset up. He was going into open houses and holding these open houses, and he wasn't getting results. So I'm like, well, what are you doing? He's, I'm going to hold an open house. I said, no, you're not. You're going to set an appointment at that open house, right? And once he changed that mindset around, he's pulled 4 listings out of open houses. He's picked up 3 or 4 buyers, and it's just a small tweak that we change our mindset out and make sure that we're going to work to prosper, okay? Incredible drive. I think that you guys can all agree that some of the most successful agents, they do whatever it takes, right? If it's going to take $1,000 to make an appointment, or it's going to take $500, or it's going to take $100, they know what they need to do, and they're not going to stop, right? I think that's common of the most successful people in the world. Would you agree? No. Excuses. Never make excuses, right? I learned many years ago, that I would make excuses. One of the things is we all have a piece in it, right? Whatever happens in life, whether it's personal, whether it's work, I hate hearing excuses. And I'd rather have someone come up and say, hey, you know what? I didn't do this, or we didn't do this, and I had a part in it, and here's what happened, right? Always look in the mirror. It's like that Michael Jackson song. What's that one they play at Bold? Man in the mirror, right? We all have a piece in this. So excuses are, in my opinion, crap. So they focus on their goals daily. Who here uses or works with a 411, 135, or any of the above? Good? Okay. Do you guys know what it takes to hit your goals? Who knows what their goals are for the next 12 months? Okay. Do you guys know the metrics to hit your goal? Okay. So how many contacts do you have to make today to hit your goal? For
40.
40 today?
If I cold call.
Okay.
If I talk to my database, it's 12.
Awesome. Good. And that will get you what?
Cool if she knows the difference.
Mm-hmm. That's huge, because she knows her conversion rates then.
Yeah.
What do you, with talking to 40 or talking to 12, what will that result in?
it should result in one set appointment.
Okay, awesome. Nice. Anyone else?
And at least 5 conversations.
That's huge. 5 nurtures? Or 5?
5 nurtures, cold call, a little bit
Yeah.
less.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else know the numbers? Everyone should be able to shout out exactly what their numbers are. And the reason is this, is because if I know that I want to close 20 transactions, or let's even go up to here, right? 24 transactions. And I know that based on 24, that I need to sign X amount of contracts because there's a fallout percentage in there, right? And to sign X number of contracts, I have to go on X number of appointments, right? And to set X number of appointments, I need to have X number of conversations based on my contact to conversation ratio. Those are all things that you guys should all know so that you have a clear path. Because if you don't know it, it's like you're throwing spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks, right? Well, I'm going to close 24 and I don't know how to get there, right? It's like sailing a boat, right? I'm going to go sail a boat to Africa, but I don't know how to tie up what are those things, sails? Yeah, sails, right?
Beyond that, for me, knowing my numbers makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because then you sit down for that hour call and say nothing happens. In the beginning, if you don't know the reason why, it feels like, oh, this doesn't work. Cold calling doesn't work.
Yep.
But if you see the long-term effects of it, it just makes you feel like it's purposeful and intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart.
That helped me feel like my time was better spent.
Yeah, I agree. And you also too is another thing I see a lot of is for those of us who, and I'm guilty of it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I had to learn, and I used to work with Mark Peak a lot, and would call him up, and we'd mastermind. And so, anybody ever in here filled out this awesome, freaking amazing 135411? Anybody ever fill one out? And then you put it in this drawer, right? You put it in this drawer, and then the next year you're like, damn, I didn't hit my goals. And you're like cleaning out your drawers to get reset, right? You're cleaning stuff out of your drawers and like, oh, new year, new desk, right? And you're like, oh, 411, 135. Oh, that's kind of cool, right? So how are we making sure we look at it often? And that's one of the reasons I write my goals out every single night, so that I got crystal clear clarity on why I come to work every day, and puts it into my brain.
Look at your watch screen.
That's it, man. Yeah, that's a good call, right? Put it on your watch screen. Wherever you need to put it, I have things taped to my mirror. My house cleaners are like, probably think I'm freaking crazy. Right? They're taped to my bathroom mirror. And it's laminated too. That's the funny part. So I went to the extent of laminating, so I just had to do it once. So never be afraid to fail, right? I think this is our biggest one. And has anybody ever, or do you come in the mornings, anybody ever get afraid to get on the phone or make contacts or call? Yeah? Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. I mean, here's the thing. Is this, I mean, making cold calls or talking to people who may not love to talk to me or whatever that is, it can be afraid, right? It can be a scary thing. But you got to never be afraid to fail. And if you think of failure as a way to learn, right, versus a failure, because all you're doing from every single failure that you have is you're learning. So the bigger thing, and what I share with all my partners, is you need to fail faster, right? And what we do is on our first day of everyone coming into the office, when they start on the team, they do 1,000 dial day. So we have a Mojo dialer, and they make 1,000 calls that day, which is a 6 or 7 hour procedure. And the reason, and this is funny too, and I'm going to share this with you really quick. I used to say, oh yeah, your goal is to get so many no's, right, that making $150 the next day is a piece of cake, right? Or making $300, right? Get so many no's. And that I used to sell them. Then, recently, the last 2 people so they would go through, they'd get all their no's, we'd celebrate, right? Because it's a big thing, 1,000 no's. Then my last 2 candidates that I brought on, I changed it on them. And I said, your goal is to make $1,000, and it's to set at least 1 appointment. Guess what happened? They set appointments. And I just want to share that with you because it was a big aha for me in the fact that if you change the way you think and what you go into with purpose, going back to going to prosper, it changes the way you work. Does that make sense? Any questions or ahas or comments on this? No?
How do you keep your drive as high as you do?
I when I was solo agent, right? Before I started working towards a team and whatnot, or joined up with Ben, and Ben talks about this often, and I truly believe it. So it's not just me anymore. Does that make sense? So I got like 5, 6, 7 other people. We just hired an assistant, right? I've got an a virtual assistant that's out of the Philippines, and I've got TCs, but it's just not me. I'm responsible for more people. And when you join an organization or you become part of something, I think that's a big drive for me, because I've gotten really close with a lot of our partners. Mark's been on the team for almost 2 years now. Michael's coming up on a year, and we got some other people. So I know their families, and they're important to me. And if I don't show up every day, I fail them, right? Plus, I have some goals that I want to accomplish for myself, and actually that writing it down every day has been super helpful, because it's just creating clarity, and pounding it in. And my first goal, right, and it changes too when I write that out. So, when my sister, I found out she had leukemia, my number one thing I wrote out is, I will support and help my sister in any way possible, right, whatever it takes. Then my next one became, I will help my partners achieve a major goal milestone this year by December 31st, 2019, and then I put the end date. So I think that's probably my biggest thing. It used to be because I liked making a lot of money. Now it's changed. I think it's just growth.
As a solo agent, what would you suggest if most people in here are solo?
Yep.
When you were solo?
I think my biggest why was as family. I mean, what do you want to do? I think that's something you got to soul search a little bit on, right? Why are you here? Why do you put up with people's shit? Sorry, excuse my language. Oops, I did drop the, right? It's being recorded, sorry.
$20 to get it.
Sorry. Right? Why do we do? Because we do go through a lot, right? I mean, honestly, if you look at it, we go through a lot. I mean, whether it's driving someone down to 40 houses or having people get upset at us, we go through a lot. So why do you come in here every day and put up with that? Well, for me, when I think gratitude really helped me out a lot. And I'm driving down the street and I come up on some orange signs. And I'm like, damn, I sure am glad I'm not doing that, right? I'm not shoveling asphalt and not having an opportunity to have a higher ceiling in my world, right? Or I hear people who freaking hate their job, like who used to maybe I don't know if it's politically correct, like a lot of state workers I talk to don't necessarily love their job. I mean, state's great. My mom and dad and my sister all work for them, but just being in a position or somewhere that you freaking hate it, that would suck, right? So that was kind of my why is what am I building? I love giving back to the community. I have a very dear foundation that I work with. It's Mercy Housing, Leotata Floyd. So being able to donate, I donate every time I close a transaction. I don't even see it. It just goes off to them. Being able to hang out with the kids, but being able to have the freedom to have income that I can do whatever I want, right? I do a Christmas Santa shopping spree every single year. And I spend anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 myself personally on that. Being able to do that gives me joy. That answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah. So find what you're super passionate about. Maybe your kids, right? I know if I had kids, I don't have kids. If I had kids, I'd want them to go to the best school. Yeah. I'd want them to have maybe things I didn't have growing up. So, what else? One of you guys, come on. When you get like Starbucks in here or what? Yes.
When you're solo, it's good to have an accountability group.
Yeah, I agree.
And I've done that with a number of other agents. And
Smart.
they were our brainstorming, and each time we get together, like on a Friday morning, we talk about our goals for the next week and how successful were we. We got to the point of talking about putting money into the kitty, and if you didn't, then you can get rewarded too. But we didn't go that far. But it was just a matter of when you have to say it out loud, I failed. You know, I didn't do this. I went and I played, or I went and I, you know, but, you know, sometimes you had a good excuse. Maybe there's something that was a community service. And so it was like, well, okay, but, you know, what are you going to do? And that was extremely helpful because I knew I had other people that were going to say, okay, Claudia, did you do it?
It's powerful, yeah?
It is.
Yep.
Very powerful.
Agree.
It's really hard when you let yourself down. Once you write down, physically write down those goals, and you go back and did not do them, you're your number one client, and you're letting yourself down. You're telling yourself, look, you're letting yourself down. So writing them down for me is the key. That's what's really hard.
I wish I was like you, because for me and a lot of people that I've ran into, the easiest person is to let down is myself.
I used to be like that.
Yeah. Probably because you have it tied to a bigger why, is what I'm thinking, maybe?
No, actually, I went through some coaching.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually you'll find is what I've found at least is people tie it when they get it tied to a bigger why.
And that too, as I get older, my why gets.
It changes, right?
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. All right, lead sources. Cool. So we've got sphere. Does everyone make calls to their sphere? Please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes and yes. Are we contacting them often enough?
No.
No. Okay. So the people that love us, trust us, and want us to succeed, you don't want to ask them for business? Yeah. That's weird. All right. Internet. There's internet opportunities. Builders. You know what? There's a lot of in Fair Oaks, Carmichael, what I've noticed, citrus sites out here, there's a lot of infill builders. You can go to county, find out who's buying land, figure out who that builder is, look up their information, and start calling them. Be aggressive. Because do you think a builder is going to want an aggressive agent who's reaching out to them before they even know that the land's in there? Aaron could probably get you that information, right?
Yeah, there's a builder, I live in Antelope.
Yep.
And there's I don't know how many acres it is, 25 acres or something. And I asked the Tykers out there just started working, and they said there's going to be 500 new homes out there.
That's actually a Lennar community, if I'm not mistaken. I work with Lennar a lot, so we have a pretty good relationship with them. But yeah, go find that out. That was smart.
Yeah.
Nice work on that. What was your name?
Mark.
Good job, Mark. You know, past clients. Are we asking them, did we treat them well enough? That's probably the biggest thing. Did we treat them well enough that they're going to give us referrals, right? We take care of them. Who door knocks? Anybody ever door knock? Yeah? Anybody afraid of door knocking?
Don't like it.
Don't like it? Why not?
It's just the aggression of people sometimes.
Yeah.
You know.
Dude, our size?
I'm a
Come on.
I'm a people pleaser too. And
Our size? What are they going to do? Nothing. Come on. I actually scare people. I've seen people that come up to the door and look through their little window, and then they run back inside.
they do a lot of the new bells, you know, that have video camera.
Oh, yeah, that
They stay
ring-
hold up
ring,
inside.
yeah.
Conceal and carry. You're good. No, just kidding. So, right, door knocking, open houses. That is so big right now. If you aren't doing open houses, it's going to be a challenge, right? Do an open house. You can call up so many people. Does anybody do multiple open houses? Yeah? Nice work. How many do you do a week?
7.
How many?
7 a week.
You do 7.
We just did 66 in a row.
Nice work, dude. Good job. That's huge. Well done. What were your results from that?
We have probably about 70-something people in Sphere added to follow up with one
Okay.
pending transaction,
Pending?
upcoming listings, wrote an offer for one today.
How many upcoming listings?
One upcoming listing, and a lot of follow-up.
So you got,
Nurtures.
A lot of nurtures.
so immediate, you got what? How many pendings?
Just one pending.
One pending? How many upcoming listings?
One.
Okay. And out of the rest of those, how much business do you believe you'll get out of that?
Probably about 25 pieces.
25?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the next year.
Okay, cool. So 27. Does anybody have a phone calculator, please? Actually, I'll do it myself. I've just thought about that. 270,000. Average commission of 10 grand, we'll just say it. Divide that by the 27 you did. How much was each open house worth? 10 grand? How long does each open house last?
3 to 4 hours.
3 hours? So let's call it 9. So you're making $3,000 an hour. That's pretty good. Nice work. Right?
No, absolutely. That's why we.
Yeah. That's
We're
awesome.
going to continue doing 5 a week.
I love it.
On the slow days, depending on the neighborhoods, certain neighborhoods are slower on Wednesdays. Certain ones are actually really good on Wednesdays. But a lot of people are scared of a weekday open house.
Those are the best because no one else is doing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really, really motivated people come through. And so
What time of the day are you doing it?
on the weekdays, we do a lot of 3 to 6 or 4 to 7. It depends on the neighborhood. So I found Folsom 3 to 6 is very effective. If you're in Auburn, 4 to 7 is better. Fair Oaks has different as well. It depends on if you're close to a school.
Yep.
So, and then on the weekends, I do a lot of 11 to 3s or 12 to 4s. So I tend to do a 4-hour on the weekends.
Nice work, dude.
You should look at the scheduling for soccer and baseball practice and just do it around time.
Exactly. There you go.
Smart idea, too. Any other lead sources you guys think of? Anything else?
Expires.
Expireds, right? Who calls expireds? Anybody call them? Right? Okay. We do. For sale by owners?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who calls for sale by owners? Okay. I'm excited because I'm going to go back to my team and say, you guys have zero competition and you should be killing it, right? Right? So some good opportunities. Where else? Where else can you find some leads?
Businesses.
Yeah, businesses, right?
Business.
B2B. We got. So I have a videographer that we brought on, and we're going to start doing that. In fact, we're going to start going out. In fact, we're going to be doing Lennar communities next week, and really just going out there and filming a video that their people can use and adding value. We're going to start getting into businesses as well. So it's. I'm excited about it. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. But those business owners are probably people with money, maybe. Yeah.
And they
Right.
know people.
They know people. They talk to people every day. That's a good idea. All right.
Hey, what's your guys' number 1 source?
Our number one source right now is open house, and we're actually been killing expireds. They've been doing really well with expireds. We've been taking them, listing them, and selling them. So expireds. I think when I did the numbers for last month, we had nine were from expireds, and we had another 4 that were pending expireds. So and Michael, who I talked about with the listing presentation, he's got 3 or 4 expireds coming on this week that were once expired. So, yeah. So he's doing real well with them. So we kind of went through this already. So I'm going to kind of skip this. So this is kind of our circle. This is our model. So prospecting, open houses, sphere. Everyone that comes into our organization, they come the first day with 200 people that they know, like, or trust. It gets uploaded into the system, and they're expected to call them and fill out the remaining information, right? Because that's going to be our first piece of business probably. We have a expectation that we get pendings in the first month. So who do we got to go with? Who do we got to call, right? Open houses, our team expectations and standards are that we hold 2+ open houses a week until we're at least carrying 2 to 3 pendings at all times. Prospecting, so this is minimums. We minimum prospecting is 75 contacts a week, and these guys usually do probably north of 100, majority of them. And then what happens is we open up this side of the business. We spend a lot of money on internet leads. Obviously, our listing leads, I get a lot of those that I'm listing heavy, and I just kind of give them out sometimes. ISA, we don't have an ISA right now. That's kind of a weird, I don't like that, love the model, but we may look into that, and just additional referrals, whatever. So that's kind of how we run that team.
Your 75, is that attempts or actually conversations had?
That's conversations had.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 75 coming from your sphere, or that just prospecting 75?
So we have 75 conversations minimum a week. We start out, everyone brings 200 people from their sphere. So 200 with one way of contacting them: email, social media, or phone number. And then not a week, that's total. They bring it in, they grow it all the time, right? Their expectation is that they gain the other information from calling them, actually reaching out to them, touching base with them.
That's what the 75 calls a week. Is that from any source, or are they all new?
That's internet leads. That's from their database. There's 75 contacts, so so it could take them $1,000, could take them $1,200. On right now, we're running probably with prospecting through expireds, FSBOs. You're probably running about 5 to 10% contact rate So it could take them, $1,200 to hit that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to kind of cruise through. I don't have much time. I want to respect your time here. Lead generating, creating habits. Habits are what are going to be making or breaking you. So some of you talked about, time management. Make sure you get the habits in lead gen time and scripts. You guys all have a script partner in here. It's each other, right? Get connected with someone. How are you talking? One more important thing with scripts I always talk to our team about is memorize MIP. It's called memorize, internalize, and personalize your scripts. Memorize them, internalize them, figure out what they mean, and personalize them. Whenever you're having a conversation, you either win it or lose it on the objections, okay? Yeah?
How many listing presentations are you going on or holding a week with your team? So combined, we hold anywhere, it depends, anywhere from 5 to 10 great weeks, probably like 15-ish. So a minimum of 1 a day?
Yeah, pretty much.
On average?
Yeah.
And as many as 2 to 3?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We require our team, we have what's called just went blank. It's being listing certified, which is they have to close 3 buyer transactions, okay? They have to shadow at least 5 listing presentations with someone who is certified. So when I first started, it was just me certified, so I'd go out to everyone. And then what would happen is then they would have to present it to the team. And they became listing certified at that point. And then what that does is that allows the people who are listing certified, because until they became listing certified, it was a little different split on the listings when they took them. And so that allows the listing certified agent to be able to go out and earn opportunities to go with an agent and receive compensation, and then it also speeds up the learning process, especially when money's at stake. Folks, on your 80-20, everybody know what the 80-20 rule is? Yep. So make sure, say no often. I put that in there. Make sure you're saying no often. Say no to any things that aren't important, right? All right.
Dave, what was the P on the MIP? I'm sorry.
Personalize. Yeah. So we do a lot of questions. You control the conversation with more questions, right? And the way we run it is we essentially have a list of questions. Like someone tells me they're moving to Elk Grove. What's important to you about moving to Elk Grove, right? What's important to you? How does that make you feel? Who would that affect the most? The thing is with that is personalize it. Someone tells me they're moving to Elk Grove. I don't ask them what's important to you about moving. I say what's happening out there, right? Kind of just throw your own tweak on it so it's comfortable and it's more conversational. All right, here's the thing. Leverage, meal prepping and planning the night before. Huge thing, right? One is if you meal prep, you're putting good stuff in your body, first off, right? You know what you're putting in there. But I think the biggest thing here is this planning. Because we get analysis paralysis. Anybody ever come into the morning and you have no clue what your day is going to be like, or that you have no freaking idea who you need to call, or you have no idea where to start? Anybody ever do that? What happens?
Nothing.
We don't do crap, right? We just sit there and we're trying to figure it out. Next thing you know, 2 hours later, you're like, I got a plan. Oh, I got to go out to lunch, right? Or I got to go on an appointment, right? So, trust me, I've been there. So having your plan for the morning, and even if you go in, when I would go, I'd prepare Mojo lists. I use Mojo, it's a dialer in case anybody doesn't know what that is. And I would have them ready. So I theme my days. I come in on Mondays, all new expireds I call, all new FSBOs. Then I do open house, people who attended my open house from the weekend, and then all my open house follow-up, right? That's my Monday. Tuesday, new expireds, new FSBOs. Then I'm going to call old expireds or old FSBOs. That's my schedule for Monday. I theme my days so that you have zero reason that you don't know who you're calling. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, power lead gen days. 3 power lead gen days. Schedule power lead gen days. Anybody know what that is? It's where you might do 4 hours, or you may say, hey, I'm going to contact or call 500 people or 1,000 people today. Our power lead gen days are hitting 1,000 people, right? Leverage escrow, in-office signings. Why do you go to Chicago Title when you could tell Aaron, hey, I want my signing to come in here and have them sign here? That saves you time of getting in your car, driving across town, and they sign in your office. You go in, you sit with them at a signing, and then bam, they come back and you're back in your office. It's saving time. Leverage TCs, virtual assistants. Make sure that you're using transaction coordinators, right? It costs a little bit of money, saves you a ton of time. Trust me.
Right, Beth?
That's right, everyone.
That's it.
Here to help.
I personally came over to Keller Williams and intended and made it a point that I didn't learn SkySlope. Just for the simple fact I didn't want to know how to do it because then I'd be tempted and I've always had a TC. Virtual assistants, there's a lot of them out there. You can find them all over the place. Someone who's going to do the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. Priority lists. Prioritize your day. What's most important, right? What is the most important thing? Ben uses a great example. If you walked into a burning building and you had, let's say, your significant other, your kids out in there, right? And there's 37 different flames going on. There's 37 different fires. Well, which one are you going to put out first, right? Probably the one that's burning the stuff around your significant other, your kid. What you got to be okay with is putting out the most important fire first and letting some stuff smolder over here, right? And let some other stuff burn. It's going to happen.
That's a big one that you just said, folks.
Yeah, you got to be okay with stuff happening. Sometimes I don't get my email till 5 o'clock. Believe it or not, I swear to you. I'm just so running throughout the day. And people are like, oh, where is this? I figure if someone's super important or something needs something, they're going to like really call me or come to my office or call the office, and people get pissed, but whatever. You suck at follow-up. Yeah, you do too. Right, so master zip forms, right? Make sure you know zip forms. There's templates in there that can save you lots of time, right? I have templates for everything. A new listing, boom. Put in the address, put in the names, done, 5 minutes, and I'm out. Hire a house cleaner, gardener. Probably one of the best moves I ever made. I'm running over. I got just a few more minutes. You guys okay with that? You good?
I'm good.
That's the audience.
Okay. Hire a house cleaner. Freaking amazing find. Had one that I found. They do my laundry for me. Unbelievable. Every 2 weeks. So what I did is I went and bought enough underwear and socks where I didn't have to ever do another load of laundry, right? I had to make sure to stock up. There's a Wonderlist app, right? Share it with your family. Wonderlist. It's a kind of like a to-do list. You can assign different tasks for the kids, whatever that is, called Wonderlist. Hiring a showing specialist. Learn the showing specialist model once you have enough business to do so. Any questions on these or any questions you have? No? Good? All right, cool. Open house stacking, basically doing multiple open houses in a neighborhood, do them 10 to 2s, 3 to 5s. I'm sure you're familiar with that, stacking the opens, right? 4-on-1, didn't get much into this. I apologize. Interesting thing here. I challenge you to do this. It's called the 15-minute increments. Right? You start. You write down exactly what you did. I called 20 people, talked to 3, sent out 4 emails. Or next 15, I sent out 20 emails. Because what's going to do, it's going to show you exactly what you're doing. You got to be honest, though, with yourself. Seriously. And you got to be specific. Right?
The right way to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah. So see what you're really doing.
That's coming back going what you did and what you accomplished. That's not your time blocking of what you're intending to do.
So at 7
It's like a reflection of what you got done for the day.
It basically shows you exactly what you're doing, right? I've done it, and I'm like, damn, I wasted hell of time doing emails, or I wasted a ton of time, I don't know, doing this, chatting, or I was at the coffee, right? You'll see your gaps, okay? Make sure you have your goals. We use this goal sheet: business, financial, health, relationships, big thing. Again, going back to if you don't see it, you're not going to push towards it, right? 1, 3, 5, kind of go through there. And then creating wow experience. One of the things I always ask is, did I exceed expectations? Simple question, right? Did I exceed expectations for my clients, for anyone in your world, right? Having your systems in place. John Maxwell says systems make the ordinary extraordinary, okay? So making sure that you have something in place. And another great thing I always learned early in my career is anything is better than nothing, right? Anything is better than nothing. We have so many times where we're like, oh, I got to have the perfect follow-up plan. No, just do something, right? Take action.
Question on as far as, I know you guys are super systematized, single agent or someone newer to the business, what would you say is that first system that will help you take a step forward and really closing more stuff?
Yeah. You guys got a really good tool. KW uses Command. I'd say one of the big systems you're probably going to want is, we do a ton of lead generation, right? But 70 to 80% of the business comes from follow-up. So your first system that I would suggest is, how are you going to follow up, right? We use a 10 days of pain in our organization where it's basically, what studies show is that someone decides on who their agent's going to be from the first time they start thinking about real estate within 14 days, okay? So 14 days. So we hammer them for 10 days to get a hold of them. We call them every day. We have auto plans that send out text. So having that plan, it's already actually built in for you guys. There's actually, I believe Command has auto different plans.
Plans now, and we're releasing some every 2 weeks up until mega camp, so we're going to be fully have a full library of plans.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you figure out which one works best, how you want to run that, because that's the biggest thing where you're going to get business is your follow-up. So your first thing would be a follow-up plan. Then touch plan. How do you keep in touch after the experience? And then any ideas you guys have? I know we ran late. I apologize. But anything you guys want to add or anything you want to ask questions? I'll stick around for a bit. What do you got?
Quick question. So after you have a transaction with a client, you got them into your home, how do you keep up the relationship? I mean, you spoke to them every day for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How do you...
So a couple cool things. Sunset Magazine, write that down. That's a monthly magazine you can send to them, and it's sent to them. Yeah, exactly. It's $10 for 12 editions. Sunset Magazine, super solid thing. In fact, I'm for the last 2 months I've been meaning to do that. Just got to implement it, right?
It comes wrapped with it. I use it. I've been using it for years. It comes wrapped with the compliments of with your name.
Branded to you.
Yep.
Awesome. So there's 12 touches, right? Call them every month. Hey, what's up? Or at least contact them, right? Text is a big way now. So learn, or if they love text, shoot them a text. Hey, what's up? Was thinking about you. Ran by your neighborhood, whatever that is. Just want to say what's up, how are you, etc. There's another 12 touches. You're at 24 at that point, right? Birthday cards, Christmas cards, right? I like to do Thanksgiving cards so that you don't get a ton of those cards rather than Christmas. So happy holidays, send it at Thanksgiving, right? Or Happy New Year. No one's getting New Year's cards, right? Then also, too, consider social media. Everyone's on social media now. So go through. There is a friends list that you can create, okay? I have lists on the side. It's on the left side. And you can create a list of people, and I have it past clients and friends. And so I just click on that list. It shows everyone's activity, so it changes the feed. So I'm only seeing past friends and clients. Boom, write a quick message, shoot them a message, whatever that is. So you've got that, right? Social media, then maybe some notes. We do a client appreciation gigs, right? We just had our last one. Dan was awesome. We had our last one over at, where was it? Out of Bounds Brewery.
Out of Bounds,
yeah. And how often are you doing this?
I've been bad. I've got to get better. I used to do them quite often, quarterly. And it doesn't have to be anything big. I think there's some people that will team up with you too. Utilize your vendors, right? Utilize people that, or some of, like, I've seen some of the lenders, they have them, parties of them. They I don't know, they bring a bunch of people together, and it could be as simple as what is it called? Like a happy hour, right?
Could you share just like a little bit about the Out of Bounds one that you just did just recently? So what? Because if anybody's looking to do that here, just maybe hit some highlights of what that might look like.
So Out of Bounds, I had about 80 people come up. So what I did is I worked with my lender. My lender co-sponsored it with me, right? And had some other vendors as well help out with it. And we also did a video ahead of time, right? So my lender I work with, he has a videographer guy. So we had our videographer guy come out, did a video. Hey, super excited. Created an Eventbrite, right? Had everyone register, sent it out, texted out, right? However we got to it. Hey, love to have you out here, right? And then when they get there, then you're asking, you're talking with them, and then you've got to do follow-up, right? You've got to do follow-up afterwards, asking for referrals. That's where you're going to get the business. But I think the biggest thing is if we all constantly are going after our clients. So what we had is we had food. I bought 100 drink tickets. We had a ton of food for them. I mean, it was awesome food, by the way. Out of Bounds does a good job. So at the end of the day, after everything was said and done, I think it cost us a little over $1,000 for 80 people, which isn't bad.
How many referrals did you get from it?
We get it was a majority of my sphere. So since I've probably gotten 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good ROI.
Yeah, definitely ROI.
$1,000 checks, you know.
40 grand for 1,000. Yeah, absolutely.
I think things like that are more of brand recognition to stay top of mind.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is too is here's the thing, guys. Is you call your the Millionaire Real Estate. I follow that to a T. Ben follows that to a T. We're probably the biggest team that follows it most closely, and we do. What happens is when you're contacting your sphere, if you're always asking, right, for business all the time, what the hell are they going to do? They're going to not answer your call, right? But if you're calling to invite them and they know that every quarter or so you have an annual thing, they're probably going to answer, hey, we're having our gig. You down to come this year, right? So you're providing value, right? If I could say one thing, provide as much value as you possibly can. Oh, and then the other thing too is we use Brivity. And we use, market reports. So all of our people we have set up on automated market valuations because everyone gets those spammy ass emails, right? No one likes those, but they like when they know what their house is worth and they see a new house come up on the market. It's a cool tool, wherever you can find it. And
that would be the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, so
That would be the neighborhood thing that you manage.
that's it, correct. Yep.
So watch what's going on in their neighborhood. You can do it bi-weekly or monthly right now. It's a smart plan.
Here's the script for that. You guys want the script for that?
Yes, we do.
All right. So, hey, you know what? Would it be of value to you if every time that a home came on the market, went into contract, or sold that you knew about it? Yeah, awesome. Well, we have this really unique tool that no other agent has, and I can send it to you weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Which one works better for you? Awesome. What's the best email to send it to? That's it. We good?
Good.
I'll hang out for a minute too, if you guys have questions.
Give it up for Jake.
Thank you.
I would like a couple ahas to make sure that you were listening or if you were sleeping the entire time. Give me some ahas.
I like your $1,000 or your 1,000 calls day for agents entering onto the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And I like that you changed from getting the no's to setting the appointment. The mindset shift.
It's a mindset shift. Everything's so mindset with us.
Certified listing, did you say certified listing?
Certified listing. Yep.
So that's a really cool thing.
That's great.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So what we do is our team we're 50-50 like most teams, and what happens is they receive on the listings is they're able to do them. However, if they're not certified, the certified listing agent that goes and helps them take the listing as well as guides them through the process, they get 15%. The agent is 35%.
Jake, you and I were talking a little bit earlier about having one of your certified listing agents come in and give the Ben Kinney presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Who in the audience would be interested in hearing that listing presentation?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So the 5 people who raise their hand, I'll invite you guys, and then the rest.
Perfect.
You saw me. Over here in the corner, right?
6.
Such a hard.
Well, and I want you guys to remember that, like he said, sometimes he doesn't look at his email until 5 o'clock, right? This is a top producer sitting in front of you right now. The hour that you had with him, you don't know when you're going to get that again. So take this time to not just listen to his presentation, but ask fantastic questions to him, right? You guys, we go to Mega Camp, we go to Family Reunion, we do masterminds. It's about the questions that we ask. It's not about the presentations that we hear. This is the stuff that he wants you to hear. Ask him a dirty question, right? What are you failing at? What do you suck at, Jake?
What do I suck at? Systems. I'm terrible at systems. That's why I hire people.
Oh, you're a salesperson.
Yeah. I suck at systems. What else do I suck at? Text, Text or tech. Tech. Yeah, it's kind of rough. I always am.
William Tech?
What's that?
Even the Keller William Tech?
Yeah, I know enough to get transactions and whatnot, and use the text features and use everything else on that. But the other thing is, I probably am a little challenged at holding our team accountable as much as I should be. So it's probably a challenge that I have. But that's probably my biggest challenges. What's up?
I actually have a question about holding your team accountable.
Sure.
If they don't meet those goals that you have set as standards, what do you do?
So that's probably another challenge, right? That I've been actually working on mastering tough conversations, okay? If you ever want to really read a really great book, it's called Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott. I suggest you read that like 4 or 5 times. It'll help with your personal relationships too. So what happens? First thing we do is we do one-on-ones every week. So I just go back to their why. So, tell me, you mentioned that you want to pay off this car for your wife. Okay. And I noticed that your activities didn't hit the goals that you had that were going to help you accomplish that. Is doing that for your wife no longer important to you? I'm not asking. Okay, tell me more. Well, then what happened? And I just have those types of conversations with them. And then at some point, there would have to be an opportunity. And I think one of the things, too, is I also will ask them as well, is if she came to work and watched you work this week, is she going to be impressed or depressed? Which one does that work? How's that going to look? Right? And I think when you put it back on them, because it's always us, right? Where am I either am or not in my world or my life? It's always a reflection of me, and they understand that. It just sometimes will take a conversation for them to understand it.
So just getting them to accept responsibility rather than like scolding them and reprimanding them for not accomplishing it.
Because it's their goal, it's not mine, right? And I've had a conversation with someone where I said to him, I said, look, here's the deal, is we have these systems and models in place, and we know they work, okay? The thing is you're not following them, and when you're not following them, what happens is that you're not able to put food on the table for your family. You're not able to buy groceries for the kids. You're not able to put a roof over your house, and I'm not willing to be a part of that. So what are you going to do differently? I just tell them I'm not going to be a part of it.
How do you keep yourself accountable?
I have so many of those different ways. So we actually have a group going back to, she took off, but where she mentioned having an accountability group. We have an accountability group with our expansion partners. It's called the 555. What that stands for is one of our big jobs in our role is to bring on new partners. So we do 5 conversations, 5 emails, 5 note cards, and 5 texts. So it's just the 555, super simple. And so we report our numbers every day there. I also report my numbers to the team and report my numbers basically to whoever wants to hear them. If you want to report your numbers to me, let me know. So that's the way, because it sucks it happens, don't get me wrong. And actually I'll tell you this, the way I send it too. Every night I send Ben a text, Ben Kinney. And the text is, what were my results, right? Actually, let me get it here. And I'll show you the text. These last 2 days I haven't sent it because it's been a challenge with my sister and whatnot. So, but I send them results. I visualize what tomorrow will look like. So what's a great day going to look like, right? So visualize. Kind of a long visualization on that one. What's on my calendar? So what can I eliminate off my calendar? What are my 2 biggest priorities for the day? And what rituals do I have set? Exercise, meal prep. Are we taking breaks in between during our day, right? Making sure we take breaks every 180 minutes. Hit like this one, exercise in the morning, put some good stuff into the brain early in the AM by listening to podcasts in the morning, break set. Calendar, lead gen, Q&A, and appointments. Priority, set 2 appointments, add value to the new agents and the rest of the team. Tomorrow is the start to a great week. Going to be up early, meal prep with the shakes for the day and get ready for a powerful day. Workout, going to hit the treadmill, see how the old hernias, because I got a couple hernias, feel, or the stair stepper. Either way, some exercise will be done. Power Up is going to be amazing, really focusing on the pendings and what we need to do to hit 20 for the month. Build on the success and momentum. Lead gen is going to be super powerful and focused. Focused is the most important to be sure that I'm hitting the 2 appointment set. Then the next most important priority of Q&A with the new agents and pouring into them. Finish the day and sign a new listing, as well as prep for a new assistant starting Wednesday. So that was my text to him.
He sends that to the CEO of his team. So that's accountability on a whole other level. Guys, give it up one more time for Jay.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for coming, sir. Have a good week, guys.